What is it that takes a simple desire to help people and turns it into something more, something sacred? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to deconstruct, the framework of Christian social work.
So let's just dive right in. This question, it's everything, really, because at the very heart of Christian social work is this powerful, crucial distinction that completely redefines how we look at the very nature of work itself.
The first step on this journey is to move way beyond the everyday idea of a job, something you do to get a paycheck, and into this bigger concept of a vocation.
And this slide really lays it all out. On the one hand, a job is often about what you do. It's defined by your income, your list of tasks, and your personal ambition. But a vocation? That's about who you are. It's framed as a divine assignment, something driven by a deep sense of purpose, identity, and a responsibility to steward your gifts.
And this quote just captures that shift in perspective perfectly. The work isn't just a series of promotions or professional goals, it's a spiritual journey. It means that every single case, every policy meeting, every human interaction, it's all infused with a sense of eternal meaning.
Okay, so if this work is really a sacred calling, then what's it built on? What's the bedrock? What are those core, non-negotiable principles that guide every single action? It all starts right here with this core theological principle, the Imago Dei. This is the absolute unwavering belief that every single human being, no exceptions, is created in the image of God. And because of that, they possess this profound inherent dignity and value.
And from that one central idea of Imago Dei, all of these other beliefs just naturally flow. It completely shapes how suffering is approached, not just with mercy, but with truth, too. It makes you see people inside their communities and relationships, not as isolated individuals. And it forces you to recognize that our social systems can either help or hurt people, which demands that service has to be competent and accountable, not just well-intentioned.
All right, so you have this incredible foundation, but how do you actually apply it to the messy, complex worlds that real people live in? Well, you need a map.
And for that, they actually use a really powerful tool from social science called Bronfenbrenner's ecological model. It lets practitioners see all the different layers of influence on a person's life, starting with the individual, then their immediate family and church, then how the systems interact, and then all the way out to big things like culture, laws, and even the weight of history over time.
But here's the twist. This is where the approach becomes uniquely Christian. They take this secular model and interpret all those layers through a theological lens: creation, fall, and redemption. So they're always asking, how do these systems show God's good, original design? Where are they broken? And what can we do to work toward restoration and redemption within them?
So with that solid foundation and a clear way of seeing the world, what does the day-to-day practice actually look like for someone trying to do this faithfully?
Well, a huge piece of it is role clarity. As you can see here, a Christian social worker isn't a pastor, and they're definitely not a savior. Their specific role is assessment, advocacy, and thinking about systems. This takes what they call vocational humility, really knowing the limits of your job and understanding that sometimes referring someone to another professional isn't just a good idea, it's an ethical requirement.
And I love this quote because it just perfectly captures that tension they have to live in. Of course, the work demands courage and passion, that zeal to help. But that passion has to be balanced with the wisdom of restraint and the humility to know your own boundaries. It's a really delicate but vital dance. So let's talk about how this all comes together, because training for this kind of work isn't about crossing a finish line. It's really more of a commissioning, the start of a lifelong journey of formation.
You see, this kind of vocational formation is a continuous process. It's not a one-and-done deal. It takes this deep, ongoing commitment to keep growing in every area, from professional skills and theological knowledge to personal spiritual habits like prayer and community. It's really all about building a sustainable rhythm for a marathon, not a sprint.
And you can see how serious they are about this right in the training itself. It's incredibly rigorous, blending all these practical, hands-on exercises with really deep theological thinking in papers and check-ins. I mean, think about it. Even personal reflection through a journal is a core, graded part of their formation.
And what underpins this whole lifelong journey is a biblical promise. This verse from Philippians basically reframes the whole thing. It's not some stressful human-led push to be perfect. Instead, it's a hopeful, God-led process. It takes the pressure off because the confidence isn't in yourself, but in God to finish the work He started in you.
So, that final commissioning, that moment they're sent out to do the work, it's not a call to be flawless. It's a call to be faithful. It's a charge to go out into the world with humility about your limits, competence in your skills, and a deep, sustaining hope.
And all of this leaves us with a final, really big thought. After seeing how this framework can transform a profession into a pilgrimage, it kind of begs the question for all of us, right? What work in our own lives, whether it's our job or something else, is just waiting for us to see it not as a task, but as an opportunity for something truly sacred?